Welcome back to Sitting Courtside. We got big time news. I can hardly contain myself.
What are you
About to
talking
step out
about?
of this
What
apartment.
news? This is just a normal episode, Jerry. Number 74. Nothing special about this.
74, close enough to 77. Guys, Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers.
What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
It's great. Oh, of course. Sorry. It's your boy Jerry D.
And I'm Dante, and let's talk about Luka. They don't know who we are, Jerry. They know who we are. Let's just get into this. Let's stop beating around the bush. Luka Doncic, a Los Angeles Laker. You're a Los Angeles Lakers.
Same.
Anthony Davis is a Dallas Maverick. What the fuck happened?
Before we get to all of this rundown and everything, like full trade details, Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris go to the Lakers. AD, Max Christie in LA's first goes to Dallas. And J-Lo Chifino and second round picks.
Utah. It's not Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge always finds a way to get his fingertips on all this shit. I love it.
Cashed out
Big,
again.
Big Dick Danny.
First,
hey, it's true. That's true.
But your first initial reaction seeing this news, obviously we're on the East Coast, so it's like 1 a.m. for us, but what was your first, oh my gosh, what's the reaction looking like?
Let me paint a picture for you, Jerry, okay? I'm reeling off of the Royal Rumble event, okay? As you may know, as people watching this may know, I'm a big wrestling fan. I got my wrestling podcast. We live streamed on Saturday, this and that. There were some very questionable decisions. Jey Uso won the men's Royal Rumble match. That caused a stir online. So I'm already shocked at the fact that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, last eliminating John Cena, may I add. So now I got to go home, sit on my couch and just relaxing, coming off of everything, to scroll Twitter. And I will admit it, I'm a guy that is probably on my phone more than the next person, okay? But sometimes I just love refreshing Twitter. I don't like missing out on things, okay? I like to be the first to know things. And luckily, that's what I was doing Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, and I happened to scroll and saw Sham's tweet about Luka getting traded. My initial thought, Jerry, was it was fake. I thought I hate to act like or say that I said what everyone else did, that I thought he was hacked, but I genuinely thought he was hacked. You read any tweet, that a trade tweet where you read Luka Doncic in it, you have a lot of reason to believe that it's fake. So I'm sitting there on the couch. Taylor, my girlfriend's right next to me. She's doing some pottery stuff. I'm fumbling my words. I'm reading this out loud, and I can't fully put my words together because I'm not thinking what I'm reading is real. I start shaking, Jerry. I'm my hands are shaking. I'm like, what is this? There's no way this is real. Messaging my friends, I can't get the words off because I can't even put words together in my brain.
I get it.
I'm putting on SportsCenter because I'm they have to be talking about this. They're fucking talking about Duke and Kansas, or Kentucky, whoever they played. I'm why? Because now I'm thinking he did get hacked. Now I'm thinking they did get hacked. So they would be talking about this, but now I'm okay. They do a thing where we just got breaking news. We're gonna cut to commercial. We're gonna be right back. I'm that's what that is. They definitely needed a few minutes to also make sure that it was real. They did not buy it.
They probably had to call Shams and say, yo.
Shams said on TV he got over 300 texts and notifications asking if he was hacked and seeing if people were are you okay? And then more tweets started coming out. I couldn't believe. And then me and my friends were going back and forth just talking about what this meant. It was genuinely, and I'm not trying to use recency bias, but genuinely the most shocking trade. I'm not saying best word. I'm not saying that shocking trade in NBA history. I don't think there is a trade more shocking than this. Out of the blue, mid-season, all NBA for all NBA, franchise player, insane. Go.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, no. You are 100% correct, man. The reactions for me are very much the same.
I'm still shocked.
The feelings are coming back. Guys,
yeah, you said that before the episode. I'm getting that now. I'm getting a little shaky. Right? I haven't had an energy drink yet today.
That's good.
I'm just drinking water. That is good.
It's literally Monday, February 3rd, which, by the way, I turned 28 today, which is, another
happy birthday, Jerry. What the fuck? I am awful at remembering birthdays. Sometimes I forget my own birthday, but happy fucking birthday, Jerry. What a big episode this is. What a big episode.
And I got my birthday present about 2 days.
You got it a little early. Oh man, that's an amazing birthday gift.
It's just
Wow.
wild because
Well, I don't feel bad about not getting you anything now.
no, hey, please. Your presence on this pod right now to vent with me about what happened this past weekend is all we need.
Enough.
But just like you, very much shocked. I just covered the Hornets game Saturday night. The Denver Nuggets came to town, get to see a potential 4-time MVP if he wins it this year. The Nuggets squaring off against the Hornets. This was actually a solid game.
Yeah.
Had a good time. Everything was cool. Asked a couple questions to Mike Malone about the material and the structure of the Hornets, how that looks. What does he take away from Charles? Like it was a smooth Saturday night. And just like you, chilling on the couch, not really watching Royal Rumble stuff, but just catching up on everything in general, like sports in general. Like, all right, the Royal Rumble's on, that's cool. A little bit of college basketball. Duke blew out Carolina.
Yeah.
There was a couple of different things I just need to keep some tabs on. I was considering turning on the video game, man. I was about to play some 2K.
Sure.
Like,
hey, you were having a great Saturday night. Ended on a high note.
And out of nowhere, I see these tweets, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then I'm like, hold on, wait. Nah, this can't be true, right? Like, it's just like you, I'm refreshing. And then Shams tweets out the last photo. This is 1,000% real. I was not hacked. Everybody's losing their mind. You seeing the reactions from the players on Twitter. Patrick Mahomes has to prepare for his Super Bowl this week.
The devil himself is shocked. The devil himself is shocked that this trade happened.
It's insane. But, with everything that transpired, there's obviously we could talk about how we felt in that moment,
100%.
Probably for the next 15 minutes.
Right.
I guess the real question is, I guess what everybody wants to know, what everybody's been saying on Twitter. Who won the deal? Like, it's obviously Luka.
The Jazz. The
Absolutely.
Jazz. They avoided everything. They got their second round picks. They got their player, and we're like, peace out. We're done. We're dipping.
It's crazy, man. But obviously, Utah, shout out to Danny Ainge again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you facilitated the trade, so I got love for Utah in my heart. I did it before for obvious reasons, but I got love for Utah for my heart. But just who won the deal between the Lakers and the Mavs, man? 25-year-old franchise player that's going to be elite for the next 10 years, arguably a top 5 player in the NBA today? Or the Mavs, who got one of the better two-way guys in the league, averaging like 26 and 12 and 2 blocks? All-world two-way talent in Anthony Davis pairing with Kyrie. Just who won? Who won the trade?
Jerry, I could have given you the floor for another 5 minutes to list off every single one of Anthony Davis's accolades from when he first stepped on a basketball court, when he was wearing glasses and he hit his growth spurt to this point. And I still would say to you, the Mavericks lost this trade by a lot. Let me look at it this way. The only people that I think believe that the Mavericks won this trade are Kendrick Perkins and people that are trying to cope with what's going on here, the Mavericks fans. I think the Mavericks are going to be good this year. I think that their roster is still built to win. And I think that this roster can be carried over into next year as well. And I think they can be good next year. But the long term, Jerry, oh man, that's the part that is confusing because, well, all of this is confusing. But Nico Harrison's talking about the short-term future. First of all, he's talking about short-term and long-term. The whole long-term part he's talking about is just gibberish at this point. There is no long-term at this point. You have a 31 turning 32-year-old Anthony Davis next month and a 33-year-old Kyrie, 35. I don't know how old Kyrie is, but he's older than Anthony Davis. Both guys Kyrie can opt out after this season. Anthony Davis can leave after next season. Not saying either thing's going to happen, but both very big possibilities. And I think, again, you're built in the short term. Kyrie and Anthony Davis is immediately one of the best duos in the NBA. There is no denying that. This is a duo that Boston tried to put together 5 years ago. The whole thing, Tatum for Davis, Brown for, this is something that Boston tried doing. I think that duo is going to be great. But you gave up a 25-year-old generational one-of-one player who hasn't entered his prime yet. But he averages 29, 8, and 8 for career averages. You trade him. And to make matters worse, Jerry, they got one first-round pick. And it's the Lakers in 2031. And guess what? If Luka's on the team in 2031, they're going to be competitive. They're going to be in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if they have anyone else on their team or not. They're going to be in the playoffs. It's Luka. They're going to be competitive. The Mavericks. Jerry, and I don't want to get into it now, and I'm not big into the whole conspiracies and stuff, but the magnitude of this trade and how foolish this isn't like they won because of this, but the Mavericks did this. It's again, unless you're Kendrick Perkins or a coping Mavericks fan, it's pretty much a consensus that the Lakers fucked over the Mavericks in this trade. So why do the Mavericks do this? Why does Nico Harrison do this? One, he has a good relationship with Anthony Davis. That's his guy. He wanted to bring him in. And two, I think he has an out from Mark Cuban, the city of Dallas, and Luka Doncic for some reason. I get it. Overweight, conditioning isn't quite there. Gotcha. Defense in the finals was atrocious. I saw it with my own two eyes, and I loved it because the Celtics kicked their ass. But does that justify trading him? Not trading him. It would be different if you did a whole fucking, hey, everyone, Luka Doncic is available. Send me your best offers. That's different.
Yep.
The fact that you contacted one team and the conversation started as a joke, having coffee. Oh, would you do this? Oh, would you do this? Oh, I would do this. Of course Rob Pelinka would do this. Of course he would. Nico Harrison. Why wouldn't he do this? It's Luka fucking Doncic. So I think Nico Harrison is going to burn this organization to the ground. I think that the Dallas Mavericks' future is so up in the air. If I'm a Mavericks, to all my Mavericks fans, to all the Mavericks fans out there, if you're a Dallas resident, I am deeply sorry. I feel terrible for what you're going through right now. I think Dallas fans, this is your one right. This is your one chance to switch fans, because I would fucking be done with this organization. I'd be done with the ownership. Jason Kidd was almost crying at the fucking press conference yesterday. He couldn't fucking believe Luka hasn't gone back to me. I'd be terror ass too if I was Jason Kidd. I'm not going to keep going because honestly, I can just sit here and call them crooks for the next 30 minutes because that's what this is. I'm not saying the NBA got involved and pushed. I'm not saying any of that. But I think something happened where Nico Harrison just genuinely didn't care for the state of the team and just had his mind set on something, and that's it. That's what I don't know how else to explain it.
There's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack.
So that's why I just let you. I don't mind the rant, man. Like I think there's a lot that we got to get to within however long we decide to record today. But
yeah, you said 20 minutes last night, and I didn't respond to that, but I was like, "That's not 20 minutes."
Silly me, you know.
Silly you. We've been doing this for 74 episodes, Jerry.
You're right. There's a lot to unpack. But
anyway. All right, I'm done talking for now. I need to rest my voice. I'm opening my ears now, and I want to listen to what you have to say.
For me, man, like, I'm not going to lie. Initially, I was like, yo, I don't know about this as a Lakers fan, only from a standpoint that this year, for the rest of 2025, I don't know if we're going to be all that good. I don't know if we're going to be competitive. What version of Luka is coming back? Is it true that he's 270? Like, is he still hurt? A calf injury, when you see that on paper, I instantly think Achilles. Kevin Durant had a calf strain, or Kobe Bryant even had a calf strain before he tore his Achilles. Like, there's a lot of different thoughts that were in my mind specifically once I see that we lose an all-world player in Anthony Davis. But obviously there's some happiness because, we got who? We got Luka freaking
player that no one thought would be available ever.
Like, it's definitely like, I don't think you could have mapped this out even more strangely. This is literally by the grace of God. You got one heck of a token just drop into your lap. It's like finding $1 million on the street. Like, you didn't really expect it.
Great comparison.
But all of a sudden, hey,
I'm rich. I'm rich.
Yeah, like, I can pay off my student loans. Like, I can do a bunch of things with this. Like, it's very much surprising. So in the short term, initially, when I just found out, even within 12 hours, and I actually finally got to wake up and at noon, because I went to bed at 4.
Brush your eyes off and realize that it was real.
Yeah, I was like, this is legit. I'm still kind of like, as I described to people in group chats, I'm foggy about the trade. My vision's kind of foggy. I don't quite know. And I got hell for it because I'm like, you got a 25-year-old superstar. Like, trust me, in the long term, I said initially, we won the deal. Because even LeBron's about to retire within the next 2 years. Anthony Davis, as good as he is and as good as he's going to be for the next few years, there's a little bit of an injury rap sheet for him too, right? He has been
Right.
healthy the last couple of seasons, so I
And
believe AD is going to ball out.
and also, if LeBron leaves, what's Anthony Davis going to do? Is he going to stick around?
Yeah.
LeBron was his running mate, so maybe he did.
I would have assumed that AD would have been the guy, the torchbearer. It was
Sure,
crazy,
it could have been like that, of course.
which it's crazy. Like, and it's kind of wild for me to say this at this point in my life right now, but I was talking to LeBron and AD last Monday, and literally AD had a 40-20 game in Charlotte.
Yeah, yeah.
And we talked to
They
LeBron.
Lakers have been really good lately too.
Yeah,
They've been really good. Yeah,
They've been rolling. But we talked to LeBron, and somebody asked a question to LeBron just about how is it to have a guy like Anthony Davis as a teammate, blah blah blah, rolling. And LeBron, paraphrasing like hell, obviously said, "This dude is the best player on the team. This is what we expect from him. He can carry us. It's our number one option. Blah blah blah." So this just goes to show, literally nobody knew about this, like even being in the works.
yeah.
But apparently, for the last month, Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison been having conversations about making this happen. So like,
Kept it under wraps. That's hard to do.
it's wild. But like, obviously a few days go by. I'm definitely officially on the ship of, wow, the Lakers did win this trade.
Yeah.
Just because.
ESPN put out a graphic grading the trade, and they gave Dallas an F and the Lakers an A. We would like to take a moment to talk to you about our sponsor for this episode, DraftKings. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? What are you waiting for? You better get on it. It's Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5 to get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code SITTING. That's code SITTING for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 is not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back into it.
See, I think that's ridiculous, though.
That's clickbait.
Yeah,
That's rage bait right there.
Definitely not an F. I think it's very even.
I'd say it's like a B. Yeah.
Sure. In
B minus maybe.
I could see the Mavs realistically. Like, I'm not going as far as Stephen A. by saying that they're the best team in the West,
right,
just because I've seen what OKC has done all year, and they still got to wait on Chet. But I get why he's saying that, because Anthony Davis is better than Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Absolutely.
Like, I understand if those teams
they got depth now at big in Dallas.
And that's what AD wanted, right? You wanted front court depth.
You want a center? We got you Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively.
There you go, baby. Like, you got what you needed. Not only that, now you got an all-world point guard in Kyrie Irving. Now you also have an all-world shooter who Klay Thompson isn't having the best year shooting-wise, but he's still shooting over 37%.
Right.
You got Quentin Grimes, Spencer Dinwiddie, PJ Washington. This team is deep now.
Yeah.
So, like,
absolutely.
That's why, right? People that are trashing the Mavs are like, oh, wow, you got fleeced. Yeah, you kind of fucked up for your future, for sure.
Yeah,
like,
big time.
I don't know what that looks like, because Kyrie could very well opt out, as you alluded to. Maybe AD's contract runs out in the next couple of years, and it's like, yo, man, I never wanted to be here anyway.
They left with nothing, and guess what? They don't have any picks either.
So
they don't have any picks.
I'll dress it up like this. Like, I don't think it was a total letdown for Dallas, but what I do think is that if you don't win at least one chip in the next year or two, this is going to go down as the most lopsided trade in NBA history.
The only thing that could save Nico Harrison is if they win a championship. That's at this point. There's no other expectation. If you're trading Luka Doncic, the only either you're rebuilding, which clearly they're not, because you either trade Luka to get Yeah, exactly. You either trade Luka to get like draft capital to build with, or you get a win now player, which is what they did.
Which
Now, I to not to interrupt you, I know you're gonna want to keep going, but like you mentioned earlier with the calf injury, that's another point where like maybe the Mavs are really truly concerned about this injury. Maybe they think it's going to be a nagging injury, and they know something that obviously they filled the Lakers in on. He's taking his physical today, but it could be something along those lines too, where it's like, and then you start reaching out to teams, right? And that's because I've been seeing the both balance of like, oh, why didn't they reach out to teams? Like, oh, well, this is why they did one thing. Because once teams start to know that a player becomes available, one, the value goes down a little bit. I don't think that would have been the case for Luka. I think he still would have gone for a lot. But by making him available, it's not Luka isn't one of those players where it's like, okay, they made Luka available. It's like, oh, Luka's available. Like, why? Why are they making him available? And then they start looking into things, and question marks. Then teams might uncover something, and then news comes out, and then you're fucked. So if that's the case, I get that. But it still is just the grand scheme of things, zeroing in the fact that he didn't reach out to other teams. There is a report going around. I don't know if you've seen this, that they did reach out to one more team, and apparently that team was San Antonio.
Oh, I seen something with the Bucks.
Oh, okay. I saw. I don't know how true it is. It might not be true at all. But regardless, they reached out to either 2 or 3 teams or just the one. That's the part that's crazy to people. That's like, you have this world-renowned star and you don't even see what else is out there.
You don't shop. You don't shop around.
There are teams that spend years building up draft capital and making things available when a star comes available. There are teams out there that are ready to throw all the chips in one thing for Luka.
I go back to that $1 million reference, right? Where you found the money. How do you spend the money is important, right? Like,
yes.
If you find out that this dude is made available, like, all right, there's going to be a hella packages that would have came Dallas's way. Maybe Nico Harrison didn't want to sift through all those deals. But I will say, though, the Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka did have a relationship prior to all of this happening anyway. Because Nico Harrison used to be Nike's rep. Guess who? Rob Pelinka used to be Kobe's agent.
Yeah.
So they interacted with one another, and Nico Harrison got Kobe on that Nike, and obviously Kobe's had and is still getting shoes made. Shout out, RIP to Kobe here, but still having shoes made in his name and likeness and all that good stuff or whatever now. So those two have known each other for 2+ decades, potentially, where there's enough rapport, there's enough trust that, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Like, maybe, even if it starts out as a joke. One wise rapper once said in J. Cole that all good jokes contain true stuff,
That's true.
To where Nico might have started it out that way over some nice coffee over in LA, and then think the ball got rolling, and they're friends. They're business partners. Whatever you want to call them, there's some chemistry to where it's like, I think I could trust Rob to do this, like, because they probably vented on the phone or in person, like, I don't think Luka can stay healthy for us. Ownership might have some new ownership too, because Mark Cuban's not even the majority owner. So it's definitely a lot of question marks probably from them. A little bit of fire on Nico, I bet, about the defensive flack that Luka has received. And, granted, it's warranted. The dude could be a cone on defense. We've seen it.
We just look at the finals highlights from last year and you'll see it.
Exactly. So, I mean, I understand both sides, and I could kind of commend Nico Harrison to some degree for, like, wanting to pull yourself out of the Luka sweepstakes, because, hey, you didn't feel confident enough about paying him a $345 million supermax. You didn't want to invest 5 more years into this dude because you don't know about his conditioning. You don't know about his health history potentially, and you feel like he might be kind of lazy, which is what I'm kind of getting if you actually decide to trade a player that we look at as a top 5 guy in the league today.
He had to have had a lot of things against him to do that.
There's a lot
in the nature that he did.
There has to be, right? And the friction that there could have been between Luka and management after all those claims and but all the accusations in general. I can't even talk right now. All the accusations that are coming out about him, about his defense throughout all of the postseason, not even just the finals, but where it's just like, dude, you're an all-world offensive talent, but if you're not a two-way player, maybe you're not the guy. And Nico Harrison even said in the press conference, I think, defense wins championships. Yeah. So that's a direct shot to the fat core of Luka Doncic, to where it's like, dude, I don't know if I could trust you. And for the Lakers
And
side of things, I'm gonna give you the floor. I promise after this.
yeah. No, please,
For the
please.
Lakers side of things, it's like, dude, you went to Shams in a sit down interview to
Yeah.
act like and request we need another big.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
bet that did not rub Jeannie Buss or Rob Pelinka or anybody in the front office like, yo,
That could have been that could have been the deciding factor of them being like, you know what? We will get rid of him. Also, there's reports that they weren't going to give him an extension this offseason. There are reports of, this and that, whether how long he was going to be in LA for. So just like I didn't really get into of like how I look at the trade. One,
oh, yeah,
I think right now, I think Dallas is better than the Lakers.
absolutely.
Full squad, top to bottom, I think Dallas is better than the Lakers. I think Dallas will finish ahead of the LA. Again, as of right now, the Lakers could make another move. I'd like to believe that they're at least going to go out and get a capable starting center that doesn't go by the name of Jackson Hayes.
They have
no
to.
offense, no offense to you, but
no,
that can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen. So short term, I think this benefits the Mavs more than the Lakers. And again, this is we have to look at the bigger picture here. Over the next 10 years, this benefits the Lakers. I don't care whether AD, Kyrie stay or not. Whatever happens, this long term, the Lakers win this. It is interesting to see how Luka and LeBron will fit. I think they will fit, but it'll be interesting because they're two very similar players. They're two very similar players. Luka is literally a carbon copy of LeBron James, right? Just 15 years younger, a little slower, not as athletic, but like offensively gifted, probably a little bit more offensively gifted, but
they got the
all around.
Upstairs.
They have the mental game. They're competitive. They love to win. They want, and Luka said, like, I don't care where I play. I just want to win championships. So like, I'm here to play the game of basketball. I don't know how long it'll take them to mesh. I don't think it will take a long time, but it will be interesting to see how that team plays out the rest of the year. What I will say is, with all the comments that Nico Harrison said about Luka Doncic and everything, and the counterpart to this is, oh, this should have happened after the finals, which I understand. But what makes, and I guess I'm asking you this or like anyone, whatever, but like, what makes you think that this trade, these comments and stuff, doesn't motivate Luka even more he's already, when healthy, arguably the only player better than him is Nikola Jokic. And you can argue that Luka's better if you want. I think that, he's at least the top 3 player in the league when he's healthy, right?
I'm thinking like Jokic, Giannis, and Luka.
Sure, yeah, honestly. And I think, like, do I agree with those rankings, not how it is? Yes, but I think you could make a fair argument that Luka could be ahead of those guys.
Absolutely.
But that's not what the point is. The point is he's already so great, and now the Mavs just lit this fire under him where you'd think, and now he can take it to a whole nother level. Yeah. The defense side of things, maybe I'm not saying he's going to become a two-way player, but maybe he picks up on the defense.
Be average.
Lose 10, 15 pounds.
Be
and
average.
Guess what? Exactly. Be average on defense. And guess what? He's playing alongside a man named LeBron James. And is there anyone in the league better at showing someone how to condition themselves, how to keep their body right, and to play the right way? Absolutely not. There is no better player to help resolve this Luka issue, if you want to call it an issue, than LeBron James. Now, am I here saying that Luka is going to erupt and become, all these things are going to happen right away? No, but I can see a world where this trade not only can bite the Mavs in the ass because they gave away Luka and all this, but they might turn Luka into a fucking monster. They might turn him into the greatest player of all time. They genuinely might.
I'm right there with you, man. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? I would assume that a guy, like you mentioned, 25 years, he's younger than us.
Yes, and that pisses me off. And that upsets me.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of money, unfortunately. But like, being where he's going, it's not like they just sent him they didn't send him to the Clippers, or like.
They sent him to the Los Angeles Lakers,
where one LeBron James resides. Mm-hmm. And even LeBron said, like, I know there's still probably some speculation. Guys, we're recording this 3 days before the NBA trade deadline ends. So there was still some speculation about LeBron potentially wanting out, go to Golden State. I know Stephen A said maybe the Knicks or whatever, but everybody in Stephen A's mind got to go to the Knicks. So,
of course.
So it's kind of like, assuming that LeBron stays and actually mentors, which I know is weird to say because Luka is an established, the last 5 years, an all-NBA first-team player.
Yeah.
A 5-time all.
Yeah. Like, unbelievable. And he would have made it this year if he wasn't hurt.
Absolutely. So
He
I
would have been
mean,
an all-star, all that. Yep.
getting LeBron in place with this dude, and guess who Luka's favorite player was growing up? LeBron
Kobe
James.
Bryant.
Guess who
I was
LeBron's
in
favorite player is today? Luka
Luka
Doncic.
Doncic, and he
So it's
was
like,
also a big fan of Kobe. That was his mentor as well.
so
So there's a lot of ties.
it's crazy, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
crazy. And plus, I think, I guess to kind of put a bow on this in some ways, the Lakers always seem to find this big fish over and over again.
Jerry, and you know what? Can I interrupt you really quick? Because
I
this
don't
is
even
where I'm
care. Please
two
go ahead.
seconds, Jerry. That's what pisses me off the most, and that's why I'm like, fuck the Lakers, because it's like clockwork. You had Wilt, then you get Kareem, then you buy Magic, and then Shaq comes around, then Kobe comes around, and then LeBron comes to LA, and now you get gift wrapped Luka Doncic. What is it with the Lakers constantly being able to get a franchise cornerstone that just sets them up? Because, Jerry, realistically, last week we were wondering, okay, LeBron retires in 2 years. The Lakers are probably going to be shitty for a while, right? That's the expectation. Now you get Luka. This isn't also, I hate that. This isn't LeBron's team anymore. I'm sorry.
No,
It's not
no.
LeBron. This is Luka's team right now. Any move that they make moving forward
They
should
talk to
be
77. They
they
don't talk to
should,
23 no more.
and every
They
move
talk
that
to
they make,
77.
exactly, and every move that they make should be revolved around the future and building around Luka, not around LeBron. And that's crazy to say, but this is the first time in LeBron's career, I think, that he is not the guy on his team. I know Anthony Davis. I know, like he was saying best offensive player, whatever. LeBron James, no matter what, was the Lakers, the face of the Lakers. Now that's not the case, and that's the first time we've ever witnessed that. And that's crazy. Before you go, Mark Stein put out a tweet just a few minutes ago talking about that the Mavericks were over Luka Doncic being a reason why they traded. So he goes, with Doncic, one phrase you keep hearing basically is that the Mavericks are over him. Dallas has likewise said to have cooled on its star's insistence on hiring his own team of training experts, even though it was done at his own expense, to handle the bulk of his medical and nutritional needs separate from the club starting from 2023 to 2024. So they're over a generational player who just brought you to the finals and has his own training staff. So that's why they traded him to the Lakers.
And you know,
congratulations.
Right. This is the question that I have for you though, and I actually tweeted this out a little before we started recording, but it makes me wonder, is the player empowerment era like over? Because this before, like 5 years ago, like if a move like this with a team that LeBron's on, like I get the Lakers just won a chip in 2020, but a LeBron team, a LeBron-led team is supposed to know about every single thing that goes on, or at least get some type of shout out, like, you know, hey, Pat Riley in Miami, hey, Bron, we're about to probably sign Greg Oden. We might get Birdman, but if we could trade this and get that, this is what we're gonna. Okay, cool, Pat. Same thing in Cleveland with David Griffin, I bet. You know, like, hey, we're gonna trade for J.R. Smith and Amon Shumpert, dog. Like, this is what's happening. But in this case,
I do have some. I feel like LeBron did know a little bit. I have a hard time believing that LeBron James found out about this having dinner with his family. I'm not saying he was like.
When you say it like that, it just sounds like a dress story.
That's what I'm just. I can't imagine he's having a one-on-one conversation with Savannah, and they're like, "Hey, LeBron, Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers." I can't. Maybe it did happen, and that's funny to think about. I'm not saying he was looped in on the whole thing, but I like to think that they at least gave LeBron a little nugget of being like, hey, something might happen just to give you a head. I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe that they wouldn't loop him in. That's all.
Let me throw a counterpunch to you, because Anthony Davis is his dog. Like, that's his boy. So I feel like if LeBron did get a whiff, like, and LeBron knows basketball way better than the rest of us. That's for damn sure. And he knows right now, I have 1 to 2 more years left in this NBA at best. Like, sure, he can keep playing. He said he can keep playing if he wanted to till 45 or whatever. I don't think he's going to do that. But he knows on paper, right now, it's currently constructed with Anthony Davis, we have a better shot if we get 1 to 2 more complementary pieces to potentially get over the hump, beat the Nuggets, beat Thunder, whoever they could have played in the Western Conference. But now he looks at the roster and sees there's an opportunity of getting Luka Doncic. Okay, cool. Who do we got to give up? It's got to be Anthony Davis.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
LeBron would have had a lot of trepidation or at least a lot of kickback. Like, dude, we're not going to be as good. I can't
Mhm.
go get ring number 5. I can't even be competitive with
Right.
this. Like the Lakers, I believe, could still potentially make the postseason, but it would not surprise me if they fall out the race.
Sure.
Just because right now, again, at the time of this recording, there's no center on that roster.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Jackson Hayes, man, but I
Yeah.
don't think
No,
you're a starting caliber center, dog.
they're thin. They're very thin right now.
Very.
And I understand that perspective because it's like the Lakers here, like they're doing business for themselves. They're thinking about the future and not the short term.
Yeah.
So I get that, but again, it is just like crazy to think that they would do all this without informing arguably the greatest player of all time, the face of their franchise at this point. And it's like, but at the same time, I do see both sides of it
Yeah.
because like this is something at this point you make that trade and they're like whatever LeBron says afterwards, they deal with that because the most important thing is they got Luka Doncic. At this point, if LeBron says he wants out, no one's gonna bat an eye. No one's gonna shit on the organization because at the end of the day, they're like, well, they got Luka, like they're justified for
Yeah.
doing all this, so
And
they wouldn't get as much backlash for it.
that's what I was literally about to say. Because again, after I think the morning of when I finally woke up from my grogginess, the next report that we saw was that LeBron is opting to stay with the Lakers.
Right.
Like
Right.
they know he has a no trade clause, so they just can't trade him willy nilly. They
Right.
actually need to discuss with them, like, hey, who would you be willing to waive that for? But he said, nah, I want to stay. They probably gave him the choice. Hey, if you want to go, maybe we can send you to Golden State since those rumors picked up some steam last year, or
Right.
wherever you'd like to go.
100%.
Like LeBron had the exit door made in front of him. Rob
Yeah.
Pelinka probably opened the door for him. Hey, you could jump out if you want.
Like we'd understand if
Yeah,
you want out. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
clear which direction the Lakers are going in right now.
But
They
he
feel
is
young
deciding to
squad.
stay. So that also makes you think of his confidence levels with this team right now and stuff. Or maybe he's
Yeah.
just going to wait till the offseason so it's a little bit easier to get out of there and
I
stuff.
also just think it's like in his head, it's like, yo, I get to play one season with Luka freaking Doncic.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. I
this
mean,
isn't a teammate that he even envisioned. You remember over the summer
who.
last year, Kyrie
Yeah.
and hey, just come to Dallas. You can play with me and Luka. Like, nah, y'all should come here. But there will be no way to get Luka over there. Like
Right.
at the time,
Right.
like he was supposed to be untradeable.
Hey, maybe this extends LeBron's. Maybe it extends it a little bit now that he can take a back seat to Luka and
You
maybe
got to build that roster.
maybe he needs to see how of course they need to build the roster, but maybe LeBron's like, okay, I'll give you some time. Maybe he goes, I'll give you till the offseason. We'll get halfway through the offseason. I feel like you haven't made any good moves, and I'm out. I'll dip. But I can see him just being like, let's see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. But yeah, they shouldn't expect to win much this year unless they go out and they get like a fucking like Nikola Vucevic or they get like another big name player that can keep them. But even then, I don't think that they're on the same level as other teams. But I think at least doing that, it will
It'll make it interesting.
keep you in the playoff picture. It will keep you in the playoff
I will
picture.
say too, like we mentioned the whole trade breakdown earlier. Just looking back at it again, like they only gave up one first rounder. I think they have another one. They didn't give up Austin Reeves, no Rui Hachimura, nothing like that.
Well, and that
Brandon
what
Beast.
makes me think, Jerry. All these guys are expendable now. Like Austin Reeves, we were talking about. Don't want to trade him. He's been playing his best basketball and stuff. Get another piece like Austin Reeves.
Or we got Luka Doncic.
Dude, you have Dalton
Bye.
Connect. You have Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. It's like an evolve. Like you're evolving like Pokemon.
You saw it. You saw it.
Yeah. You can trade Austin Reeves now. So, and he's been playing his best basketball. So you could get something good in return for that. You still have your 20. They still have another first round pick, I think, that they didn't trade.
It's like 2031.
Yeah, something like that. So you can include another pick. They're not done. The Lakers aren't done. Whether they go and get a big name or not, they can't be done.
They better not be done.
If they are done, then this is just
it's a wash of a year to some degree.
Yeah. They're throwing the year away.
But you know what? You got Luka freaking Doncic, bro.
And you're good for the next 10 years. So that's what matters the most.
Well, that's all we got. I mean, it was a jam-packed episode, obviously. All Luka, all AD, all Lakers, all Mavs. We'll talk about storylines in a separate video, so you guys make sure to check those out, where you can see the perspectives from LeBron, from Kyrie, from AD, and obviously Luka. But any parting shots from you, Dante?
I'm just all I can think about is my Dallas brothers and sisters out there.
Right.
My thoughts and prayers are with you. Um, Boston, hey, Boston's a fun team to root for. I'll welcome you with open arms
Hey,
if I'll send you an application. I get it. I get it. Anything that you've said negatively about Jason Tatum in the past, because I have seen some. There was one guy that was like this Mavericks fan. He said, oh, all I know is that if Jason Tatum was traded at this time, no one would care. Everyone would go to bed. I'm like, you know what?
yeah, I saw that.
You're coping, and you have to give a stray to Jason Tatum to get over it. If that's
Nah,
what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But I feel for you, Dallas fans. I feel for you.
hey man, you might as well just follow Luka to Dallas, man. I mean, Luka to LA, man. You know,
Yeah.
Luka,
Or just go to
LA.
LA.
There's LeBron over there. You know, that guy's kind of like his idol. You know, just a little. It makes a lot of sense. You know,
Did you
or
order your jersey yet?
it might be in the mail.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Might gotta cop me my first 77 jersey. I'm gonna tell everybody he's an old lineman. But hey, my parting shot, I just like was, randomly looking at my phone during this, like looking on Twitter and stuff for more information if it came out. Um, I think Luca's starting the trend, man. Everybody's demanding out or at least tightening up. Miles Garrett just demanded a trade from the
He
Cleveland
did.
Browns.
I did see that when I was scrolling through. Yeah, he's starting a trend here.
Inspired.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. The trade deadline's in a few days. Like we said, we already saw De'Aaron Fox go to San Antonio. I know we didn't really get into it here because the Luka Doncic thing is the big thing. We will cover it next week. We'll talk about like post trade deadline deals, and we can kind of dabble into it there. But yeah, we'll definitely have more stuff to talk about then. But
Absolutely.
crazy shit, man. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Head still spinning, guys, and I hope your guys' is too. Tell us what you think about the trade in the comments. Who do you think who won? Who do you think who lost? Do you agree with the short-term opinions that Dante and I have, or do you think we're totally crazy? And if you do, I don't think you need to watch basketball podcasts anymore. Anyway, to do my best Dante impersonation here again, 2 weeks straight, man. Make sure you like and subscribe to Sitting Courtside. Follow us on all our socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're trying to be better on all those things, so might as well give us a boost. Give us a 5-star rating, depending on if you're listening through audio, all that good stuff. And yeah, did I miss anything?
I think you covered it. I think you nailed everything.
All right.
I think the only thing we got to say is we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and go Lakers.
Good. Yeah.